Hey everyone, how are you doing? I hope you're doing amazing. I've got like the mindset ninja master coming on this conversation, and I am really, really excited to have him here. Hey, welcome. Glad to see you. Tell me where you're checking in from. Love hearing where all my guests are checking in from. And tell me, how are you doing today? Let me see if I can send this to Andy. You guys are definitely going to want to be a part of this conversation because this guy is a master trainer and master coach, and he's a good friend of mine, and I am really looking forward to this conversation. I don't know. Sorry, man. There he is. Hey, brother. Good to see you. I'm typing this in right now so we can get going. Petition in these times. Boom. Post. Okay, let me get this, Andy. Hang on just a second. Let me get this. Pinning this. There we go. Pin. And boom. Here we go. Go live. Grab a pen and paper. We are about to experience some incredible things. There is the man.
What's going on, buddy?
Doing good, man. How are you doing?
Well, mate, better for seeing you.
It's great to see you. It's been a while.
It's been ages, mate. Time just keeps moving, right? It's crazy.
Yes.
But
So
we're in the same country anyway, so that's a good thing.
So you're in Florida now.
I'm in Florida right now, yeah. Here for another 4 weeks, and then we've got to see what borders are open in the world that we can jump on a plane to. But yeah, it's a little crazy right now, right?
A little bit crazy right now, yeah. So man, it's okay. So everybody, if you don't know who Andy is, you will do yourself the biggest favor you've ever done by going and following this guy. This guy is a mindset ninja on levels that are, I mean, he's my coach. He's coached me. So, I mean, he is at that level. I mean, he's coached some of the most elite people out there, and I am super excited to see him again. So everybody go check out his podcast, go check out his Instagram page. You will be pleasantly surprised. And I really wanted to, if there's anybody that I wanted to have a conversation during these times, it was you.
Okay? Well, I appreciate that, man.
To really talk about.
Bring to it, but hey, it's, needs to be discussed, right?
Yeah, it's interesting times. It's interesting times, and we are getting exposed to new parts of who we are, right? and you had said, you know, I reached out to you one time, and I was having some challenges, and I reached out to you, and you said one word, and that word was just like, it changed the game for me, and it was just expand. Just expand. That's the only way you replied back, and just said expand, and it's less like, yeah, this is calling out our greater good. This is calling out something greater inside of us. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing with your coaching and what's going on, and how, you know, what's some of the themes that you're dealing with right now.
Mate, it's a wild one. It's interesting just on that point, expand. Let's talk about that for a second, mate. It's the truth. It really is. It's like people have been, think about the world right now, right? Everyone's in this frenzy of fear. Everyone's in this frenzy of fear, and that's okay. That's okay. You can be in the frenzy of fear, but it's the case of how's that working out, right? And everyone's going down different paths with this. Some people are going down the conspiracy path. Some people are just freezing. There's very few people fighting, stepping up, getting creative, and actually understanding that the cool thing about this is it's like the universe has pressed pause on time, just a little bit, right? Just a little bit pressed pause on time. So it gives us a chance to go inside. It gives us a chance to really get clear on what we want. And it gives us an opportunity while the world is spinning around and everyone's doing these other things. There's a few people who go, ooh, this is, we can build something here. There's two different brains, right? We got people going into the fear and they get boxed in by this little box. Then they're watching Netflix and chilling. They're running around, looking at all the madness that's online and watching all the news and everything else and just feeding their brain and they're just running around in this little box, man, just spinning and spinning. And the thing about that, you've got all these other people going, okay, well, didn't have time to build these businesses. I didn't have time to look at bringing my resources or my business online. I didn't have time to do that. Well, guess what? You kind of do, right? So it's really like, go back to that word expand, Jeff. It's like, that's why I see it. There's the box. Everyone's bouncing around inside this box, making all decisions. Everyone is so used to doing the same thing every day.
Yeah.
Then the universe came along, slapped us, and it's like, oh, we can't do what we used to doing. Right. So what happens is everyone's brain then starts going into the fight or flight response. And then everyone's watching the news. And everyone's watching all the media. Then everyone's going down the conspiracy. And everyone's doing this. Everyone's doing that. The thing is, all we're doing is creating a ripple effect in people's brains of the same fear. And then people are relating to each other with this fear, right? And so guess what? How the world looks. The world looks damn scary. Right. And then you've got the other set of people who understand that if we keep bouncing around in this little box, it's going to cause a lot of fear, stress, overwhelm, loss of jobs, panic, cash flow problems, all the rest of it, right? And all that's true. But then there's people who go, let's just expand, right? Expansion always happens. We either resist it or we allow it. Right. But for us as human beings, our default setting is to always go to comfort, always go to certainty, always keep doing the same things because then we're nice and calm. But the challenge is life isn't really like that. Nothing's like that. Even if we looked at the science of or quantum physics, or whatever you want to talk about, everything's just constantly going. There is no now sort of kind. There is, but there's not, right? Everything's kind of moving. And so because of that, we've really got to train our brains to be like bulletproof. Instead of reacting to stuff, we'll understand. Do you think that this madness is going to be a one-time deal in our life? Nah, man, it's not. It's not. This is the beginning of something. Don't know what. Yeah. But shit's changed, right? Absolutely. And because it's changed, we either, again, stick in the box or we expand. But if we expanded, what does that really mean? And I think now it's about what's the mission? What's the mission that you're on? What's the mission that you want to head towards? What are you doing, right? The other side of it is, it gives people an opportunity to get rid of all the noise out their head. And what that means is like, what's really important, man?
Yeah. And I think it's these kind of things that shock us to make us really look at what is important to us, right? I mean, it's either, and the interesting part about this, and you know about this, is where we move from the autonomy to the oneness, right? And have this balance of how do I take care of myself, and then how do I contribute to the world? And we have things that happen to us individually, say like a divorce, bankruptcy, health issues, whatever it is, and it shocks us and it makes us really reconsider what's important to us. But now this is happening globally. This has happened globally. And it's really, I think it's an opportunity for everyone to really reset and say what's important. Because everything that we've been talking about, I don't have enough time, just like you're saying. You have time now. What are you doing with that time? Right?
Most people are hammering Netflix.
Right.
And it's like some right now.
Right. And some of the greatest, I think there was a pandemic, and I don't know this, I haven't validated it. So if somebody knows any different, by all means say so, that during the Black Plague is when Isaac Newton discovered gravity.
Oh, really? I didn't know.
Yeah, so it's, and some of the greatest things, resets, necessity is the mother of all invention. I mean, And so it's really a great time for us to really recalibrate and re-question our lives of going, did I really enjoy my job? Did I really enjoy my job? Right? And what am I getting out of this story that I'm stuck into? Just like you said, the box, right? This is time for you to really look at how, you know, and I want to talk, because I know you're an NLP linguist, and that's where you and I just like jive on this stuff.
Sure.
Is that getting people to really understand that 95% of our life is just a program we live over and over and over until we start going consciously and going, wait a minute, I have to change this inner game. So talk a little bit about that. And because it's so sobering to really recognize that, what do they say, 40 to 60,000 thoughts we have every single day, and 95% of them are the same thoughts we had the day before.
Yeah, the repeat.
Right?
Yeah, they're on repeat.
Yeah, so talk about that.
Sure, and that right there is the issue. I mean, what I do is a little bit different to what most people are looking at, like doing self-help. I'm that's not my world. What I do is something called mental performance. So it's about getting control of your mind, your emotions, being able to step into any situation under the highest pressure and be able to perform. So that's different, right? But it's the same thing. But what we've got to understand is the basics. The basics are, this thing here works just like a muscle. Plain and simple. And the thing about it, we've got our conscious, we've got our unconscious mind. Our unconscious mind is the automatic part of our brain, or your body mind, the bit that blinks you, breathes you, affects your lymph system, your heart rate, also your motivation, your drive, where your focus is, your expectations, where your past traumas are kept, and the future ideas, and all of this stuff. And every time we have an experience, then a piece of software is formed. And we've had billions of experiences. Right. So every time a piece of software is installed, it's got like a movie at the end of it. That movie is creates an emotion, it creates a reaction, it creates a belief system, it gets us to focus on the past or the future, right? So we've got billions of these experiences. Then we've got to understand that the wiring in our brain can get pretty messy. Right? So understand that. That's okay. Right. That's called human beings. And then we've got brain chemicals and hormones. And then what we've got is society pre-programming our brain to behave like it wants us to behave. That sounds conspiracy. It's not. Society is a business. Plain and simple, that's the school system. It's a business. And it wants us to be good employees. Nothing wrong with that, right? But if you don't want that job of being an employee to the society, then you best goddamn take control of what's happening in your life. And the truth is, most billionaires started out with nothing. Unless you're at the cream of the cream, like the Rockefellers, but even the original Rockefeller was
started out with nothing.
Started out with nothing, right? So, when we start to understand that is the power that we've got, then what happens is it's the emotional roller coaster that we go on that affects how we think, feel, and act. It affects our future, it affects our past, it affects us being worthy that we can put ourselves out into the world and actually help people. And so what happens is with the brain, if we understand that it's malleable, we understand that it wants to do habits or patterns, then we might as well understand that we might as well build the patterns or habits that we want. Because if we don't, someone else is installing them in our head. And that's books, media, friends, whatever culture you're around, it's pushing that into your brain, and your brain starts to make a little world around it. And that world can be awesome, that world can suck. It's how much you train your brain the right way is how you see the world. You know, I can go on. Was that making sense? Is that making sense?
Absolutely. Making sense to me.
Yeah, it makes sense to me too, mate. But you know,
it makes sense to me. Well, and with everything you just said, okay? And I think that this is absolutely mission critical. I think this is absolutely imperative for people to understand this, is that there is a science to what you and I talk about, right? There, with NLP, there's a science and a methodology, right? And an attitude. The attitude is curiosity. The methodology is studying excellence. There's a science to it, right? And really understanding how, having the awareness of how the internal game is playing. And I love what you said about every experience is creating new parts of the software, right? If we look at the software as a neurology, I mean, you base it down to the binary programming, right? It's ones and zeros underneath the operating system, right? And if that is not in alignment with what you want to create, you're going to frustrate the crap out of yourself. You're going to go into unresourceful states because you don't know how to manage your energy, because you don't know where you're bleeding out, right? Yeah. And that goes into the next point of knowing this stuff, how important, and when I say the word important, it is such an injustice of what I really want to convey. To me, it's you know, it comes with that statement of live like your life depends on it.
Yeah.
Really looking at your life depends on knowing how your inner game works and knowing how to design it to be aligned with what you want to make happen. So to do that, it's mission critical to have a mentor or a coach. I would love to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's not, yeah, like you say, the word doesn't give it credit, because it's just, whether it's a coach, whether it's a mentor, or whether it's being around people who are 10 to 15 years ahead of you in the game that you want to play, it right. makes no difference, right? But it's right. about the growth. And it's like, the thing is about the brain, people think about it's a cheeseball word. People talk about mindset, right? But what does that mean? Right. For most people, it means a positive attitude. It means reading The Secret, the book, or you know, being let's talk pod. No negative talk. That's like, okay, that might be good for, that's fine, nothing wrong with that. But the truth is, there's levels to the game. And right. I've worked with billionaire royalty. I've worked with some of the top people in the world in many different aspects. And the truth is, I don't teach them business tactics.
Right.
Think about that, right? And
right.
it's like if you were going to learn golf. I don't play golf. Well, we did play golf.
Yeah, we played golf.
Yeah. That was a cool day. That was a cool day with Mike.
That was an awesome day, yeah.
Yeah, it was awesome. And but yeah, let's say you're learning golf. What would you do? Because everyone's used to this way of thinking. They go, okay, I want to learn golf. I want to learn it really fast and get good at it. Let's go and find a golf professional. Let's take private lessons with them. Let's ask them advice, and let's maybe even go on a camp with them. Right? That's how you'd learn golf.
Right.
And that's a great way to learn golf. It's the best way to learn golf, right? And then you just do lots of golf and get better and better. Yeah. But people think that's the same with business and life. So they learn the skill set, and then they realize that, well, why aren't I performing? Well, it's because we haven't built the brain the right way, right? And everybody thinks that they understand how to do this. They understand how to program this, design this, delete what they don't want, install, change your nervous system, be prepared for that sales call, or look at your business a different way, open up income streams. All of these things that people just, oh, well, it's mindset. I know how to do that. Well, I've learned golf, so I've got a brain, or you know how to do that. No, you don't. Right. There's levels of the game. And the problem is with all of these courses out there and coaches, everyone's teaching physical, practical skills. Everyone's teaching Amazon, or they're teaching funnel building, or they're teaching this or that, or even coaches. I've heard some of the top coaches in the world, when someone says, I've got procrastination, I just can't get it done. They tell them to take ADD medicine.
Right.
I'm like,
okay. So you said that right there. I want to say this real quick, and people, and I love what you said is that, how did you say it? Society is a business. Is that what you said? Yeah. Society is a business. Is understanding that the pharmaceutical industry is a business. It's a business. Okay. And in not now, saying that doesn't mean that you throw the whole baby out with the bathwater, right? There are certain components of it that are very beneficial to us, but understand the seduction. This is a seduction of, to me, I think the biggest industry out there is convenience. It's the biggest industry out there. Make my life easy, and they understand that mindset, so they capitalize on it. Yeah, I don't want to do the inner work. Just give me a drug and make me numb and make me check out, right? And rather than doing the inner work and changing the software, as you're talking about, I would love to hear. So you've worked with the top of the top of the top. And I think that a lot of people create these illusions of what they think that is. And it seems so freaking unattainable, right? And that's like you said, Rockefeller started out with nothing. Carnegie started out with nothing, and they built it up to be huge. So what are some of the things that really, really, really high performers struggle with that surprised you the most when you started working with them, and like, whoa, I didn't see that they would be struggling with something like that? What was the biggest surprise for you?
Yeah, there's two things that jump straight out into my head. First one, anxiety.
Really?
Chronic anxiety, right?
Wow.
Hey, everybody, just my name's popping up there. What's going on? So it's like, yeah, it's just anxiety every day, constant anxiety. And that's what people live with. That affects their immune system. It affects their brain function. It affects the cortisol levels spiking in your brain. It affects everything, right? So anxiety. The next thing is lack self-worth.
What? What? Yeah.
Self-worth.
Big. Wow.
And we're talking we talk to the level of billionaire royalty, Saudi billionaire royalty. Everything you could want, everything you can imagine, right? Whole family living lack of self-worth and anxiety, right? So the top people that you see online, I look behind the scenes, there's quite a few of them. It's the same thing. What's what I call a driver? Okay, what's the emotion or the driver that is making them take action? Right. Well, what you find, which is interesting, I was in New York a couple of years ago. I was presenting. And I was talking to a friend there, and she said her boyfriend works for this multi-billionaire in finance. And I said to them, well, what's he like? And they were like, well, he's a good guy. He's a nice guy and all. But and I was saying, oh, cool, okay. Well, they were like, he takes the train, the tube, the subway every single day to work. And I was like, that's really cool. The guy must be humble. He must be connected. That's badass that he'd want to do that. And they were like, no, he doesn't want to spend the money. He doesn't want to spend the money on a chauffeur. He doesn't want to spend the money on a car. So he takes the subway every single day instead of hiring that. Not because he's humble, not because he's connected to himself, not because he just wants to do that and be a normal person. No, he's coming from such scarcity that he doesn't want to spend the money. Think about that, right? Just think about that for a moment. I'll take a sip.
Right. Yeah, and it's understanding, like you said, that driver. The driver.
What's the driver? So his driver every single day is fear. His driver every single day is to accumulate more numbers to make him feel self-worth around himself. Not what he's accomplished, not what he's able to do, not his intelligence, not his heart, not how he's helped people, not his gift to the world. None of that. His thing is one thing: money. Getting that bank balance higher and higher because that feels self-worth, right? That's madness to me. I've seen this on many different levels. The people that you see all big and shiny, awesome people. Right. But it doesn't mean they've got it together. The more businesses I look behind the scenes at, the more you realize 80% of them are just like chaos and they're just winging it. But what they're really good at is one thing: marketing.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't mean that they're good at serving people. It doesn't mean they're going to get a good customer experience. It does not mean that they're high-level coaches. And
Right.
that's the other thing.
Right.
This industry's just been flooded, man. I've done
Yeah.
this for 18 years all over the world. And over the last, 3 years, you say, Jeff? Something like that.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
coaching industry has just gone
boom. Yep.
because marketers found a niche or a niche, right? And what they did was teach normal people to become a marketer, not a high-level coach who actually helps people. So what's happened in this industry is you've got this younger generation coming through, which are so passionate, so talented, so clever, and don't give a crap about anybody else. They're on a mission. They've got given all the tools to market themselves as a world-class expert, and they charge for it. But I remember having a conversation with somebody, and I was like, okay, who do you work with? They're like, I work with high-level CEOs. I'm like, I love it. I love it. That's cool. Why are you charging those prices? Because you've only been doing this for 2 years.